The Great Divide. Minfilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldessian. Our friends. Oh, yeah, I see you there. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, no, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mogulmog XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelve's Wood. Ooh, Ramu now. Our latest findings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. Oh, of course. Once they know that, the Domans were taken in, others would come. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Lavenza, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I'm well aware that our resources are finite, but we have a responsibility to protect the people of Eorzea. Oh, here we go. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, Antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not work for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. Ooh. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the Flames, the refugees started a riot. Oh, and this is, I think, that sneaky little potato shite set up. I think that's what that cutscene was about before. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Lavenza. Don't believe what they say. I know these people. They would only take up arms to defend themselves. If there was a riot, I swear to you they didn't start it. Yeah, I vaguely remember this. Maybe this was because I was talking about something about the brass blades doing something shady, and was this it? Or again, it could have just been the Hourglass. Where is that? Oh, that's at the quicksand. Okay. It may have just been a side quest too, I don't remember. But something shady obviously happened here. He seems no worse for the wear.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence.
It's always Lala's looking
So
shady.
where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers, while more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Clearly suspicious. A little too convenient how that worked out. Desperate times. Alphino wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Yeah, it's interesting, like how the stuff going on in Limsa and Gridania feel very kind of fantasy-esque, a bit, out of our own reach type of thing. But the stuff happening in Ul'dah is like sadly all too familiar. Now is not a good time, Lavenza. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphino, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanlin. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the olden citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Lavenza. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? My silver nod, as it were. You look as though you have something to say, Lavenza. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Alright, so Lost Hope is... Oh, okay, yeah. That's where you mine... No, that's not that. What do you mine there? I don't remember. I was about to say gold ore, but gold ore is in Eastern Thanlin. Yeah, I don't remember what it is. But I know this camp quite well. What brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well, then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. Like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Okay, so we need to track down this merchant, it would seem. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report? The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. Wait, I know your face. Are you not the woman from the Church of Saint Adama Landama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the fanatic's spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Why didn't you run away? Okay, why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Who are you? What do you want? It's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Shock and awe. The terrified refugee would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloodied sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to what if we had only, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Hurt the twins if you must, but pray do your utmost not to harm the others. Is it down in the cave or up above? I don't know. Oh, okay, yep, down in here. Okay, so just this dude. 7 hells, they found us. Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Come on. Come within range. Thank you. Oh, I killed that dude's target as well. Oh, I got the attention of an F. You beat him like it was nothing. Thou Almighty, what are we doing, or what are we going to do now? We yield, all right, we yield. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So go away and leave us be. So speak with the terrified refugee. Oh, yeah, it's the same dude. I was just like, why is there a refugee that's terrified? But he's just addled. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. Reap the whirlwind. The terrified refugee would have you find the shady figure who is trying to stir dissent among his brethren. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. So who is this merchant? I mean, I'm sure he's just, some nameless dude that's working under the shady Lalafell. Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They they said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were gonna change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry. I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? What will you say? I'm looking for a merchant. I'm looking for someone stirring up trouble. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well, now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? Not me. You, I... He's getting away. Go get him, miss. It kind of loses a little bit of its momentum or whatever when, you know, it starts with that, like, chase music or whatever, and then just stops. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The selfsame refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Whoa, hey now. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a Kirkin's arse about politics. It was business, only business. Ooh. My character's a little more aggressive than I would normally give her credit for. We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. As he gets an arrow to the neck. Not close enough. What's all this commotion? It's so cute. Little armored Lala's coming up like, let us handle this. 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots? Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. If that arrow was shot from where you indicated, the archer must have a good eye and a better arm. Oh. Back to Ulda. I wonder if this type of quest line isn't something better as a side quest than MSQ. I mean, depending on where it goes, but right now it's, I mean, definitely important to like the story of Ulda, but does that necessarily need? Well, I guess I want to say that Lala is Teleji Adeleji. I can never remember which is which, but I think it's Teleji Adeleji that set this up. And obviously he's important going forward, so that's probably why this is still MSQ and not like a side quest. What news, Lavenza? Where is the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered, Lavenza. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Thank you for watching this video. I've been having a great time going through this 2.x patch content. It's actually been a lot better than I was expecting. All the complaints about it, and I don't know what all the fuss is about. I mean, it's been some great story, some fantastic dialogue. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. And I hope you are too. If so, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please come and join me live on Twitch. The link is down below. Thank you again for watching, and have a great one.